Hey YouTube, I'm Royal, I'm a multi-season challenger and legend player, even peaking at rank 1, so I know a lot about climbing in Wild Rift. With the new season about to start, I decided to expose all my secrets and give you the knowledge you need to climb to high elo. In this beginner-friendly video, I will be giving you a guide to climb out of low elo, and get you to at least master tier. If you're currently under master tier and want to improve and climb quickly, this video is going to be extremely useful, so please watch until the end. By following the simple guide, I'm sure anyone can get master tier. Let's start off with the biggest mistake I see low elo players make, and that's not knowing how to play their role and their champion. In my unranked challenger series, I constantly come across players that don't know the basic mechanics of their champions, and they don't know how to play their role, and invent their own troll builds. So here's what you need to know about which role to play, which champion to play, and how to build them. First of all, pick a role that you enjoy to play and stick to it. If you get filled to another role, that's fine, but only queue up for one role, always. You need to master one role before you move on to the others. It's way easier than trying to master multiple roles at once. Now, pick one champion on that role. With the exact same logic, it's a lot easier to master one champion than move on to other champions. If you try to master all of them at the same time, you won't improve on any of them. But Royal, I get bored only playing one champion. Listen, I'm trying to teach you how to climb elo, and practicing isn't always fun. Getting better at anything, including Wild Rift, requires discipline. So pick one champion and stick to them until you have fully mastered them, and then you can play other champions. I recommend playing a champion that you enjoy, since you will be more motivated to master them. However, if you pick a hard champion like Yasuo, you will take longer to master them, so you will improve and climb a lot slower. I will recommend to you 3 champions for each role that you can main, that will help you climb the fastest. These champions aren't necessarily easy to play, but mastering them will teach you a lot about the game's fundamentals, which will quickly improve your skill level. In the solo lane, my recommendations are Garen, Malphite, and Wukong. In the jungle, Xin Zhao, Wukong, and Amumu. In mid lane, Annie, Diana, and Orianna. On ADC, Ashe, Tristana, Miss Fortune. And on support, Nautilus, Braum, and Sona. Like I said before, you should pick a champion that you enjoy, but these are my recommendations. Now, let's talk about builds. Or even better, let's not talk about builds. Stop thinking about builds. You're not at a skill level that builds matter. Stop wasting your mental energy and thinking about builds. For 90% of champions, the recommended is good enough. If you're having doubts about your build, go to its steward's website, Wild Rift Fire, and build those recommended items. Almost always, when I see low elo players deviate from the recommended, their builds become significantly worse. Do not fall for the clickbait titles about some SSS+++ tier build. There is no secret build that the best players use to climb. Builds are just a small aspect of the game. You need to focus on other concepts first. Are there situations that you could build an item that would have more value than the recommended? Yes. But there's other areas of the game that will give you way more value to improve on first, which is what we're gonna talk about now. So until you reach master, stick to the cookie cutter basic builds. Now that you have picked a role and a champion, you need to learn to properly use your champion. Here's the 5 main fundamental concepts you need to focus on to reach high elo. Number 1. Understand your champion's goals and power spikes. For example, Malphite gets his power spike when he has ultimate. His goal is to group up and engage with his ultimate. Xin Zhao has a very strong early game. He wants to be aggressive, gank early, and duel the enemy jungler. Sona is weak in the early game, so you want to play safe and scale to the late game. Learn your champion's strengths and play for them. Number 2. Learn basic wave management. I have a video on wave management and macro videos for a few roles that you can check out on my channel. Number 3. If you're a solo laner, mid laner, or ADC, learn to last hit minions and farm resources as much as you can. If you're a jungler, learn to farm your jungle efficiently. If you're a support, learn when you should roam and help your team. Maximize your time and always do something of value, whether that is collecting resources or helping your team. Stop standing around and wasting time. Number 4. Learn to trade. Learn your champion's basic combos and practice trading in every matchup. Think about what damage you need to avoid and what damage you need to deal. Also, practice your spacing. If you have a long range champion, maximize your range to avoid damage. If you're a short range champion, try to get near enemies as quickly as possible and avoid getting kited. Number 5. Learn how to teamfight. Learn about your champion's role in the fight and how to approach teamfights. Like I mentioned before, Malphite's job is to engage the fight with his ultimate. Sona's job is to heal and provide utility, so you need to position somewhere safer. To fully master these concepts on your champion, you will need at least 200 games, but probably more. In addition to playing and practicing these fundamentals, you should watch good players play your champion. There's many great Wild Rift content creators out there, but here's some recommendations of really good active players that you should watch to see them perform these fundamentals. I couldn't really find any good solo lane streamer or YouTuber, but for the jungle you can watch Vex or Lebmont. In mid lane, starting all over. In ADC, WoW Gume or Kranix, and for support, Broken Support. The last tip I will give you is to learn from your mistakes. That's the only way to improve. Don't keep making the same mistakes again and again. Try your best to use critical thinking and analyze after every game. Why did you lose? What did you do bad? What were the key moments of the game? Think about your deaths. Did you overextend? Did you overstay? Did you not respect the enemy jungler? Were you surprised by a champion's damage? And always self-reflect without casting blame on your teammates. Just focus on what you could have done better. You don't need to review every replay, but just be aware of the mistakes you're making and figure out how to improve them. I offer coaching where we VOD review games together and I can point out clearly your mistakes and what you could have done differently, while also teaching you in detail how to improve on what you did wrong and create good long-term habits. I have an example coaching session posted on my YouTube, so you can check that out and see how you can analyze your games. Just make sure you aren't over-analyzing and getting lost in the details. Your goal is how to improve on the fundamentals I listed above. Hopefully this video has given you a solid framework and plan on how to improve and how to reach higher elos. If you want me to dive deeper into the fundamentals that I talked about before and make videos on them, comment below. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button so I know and subscribe for more Wild Rift content. Also, how sick is this Echo gameplay in the background? It's on my Unranked to Challenger account, but sadly I didn't record it, so I decided to record the replay and use it as the background gameplay for this video.